Why do we collect? Well, I mean, probably the main reason is nostalgia.
I mean, books could not offer me what these games could offer me as a child. And that's why today these games mean so much to me now.
The guys who designed these games, this was their world. And this is their way of sharing a little piece of their world with us. And that's how the magic started.
Well, to me, I couldn't imagine my own life, particularly my formative years, without them. The NES, if I was asked, was probably my favorite toy as a child, provided it counts as a toy.
You know, we're reliving part of our childhood, and who wouldn't want to do that?
Children of the past have kind of become the sufficiently wealthy adults of today, so they've got the money to chase after their pasts.
I mean, a lot of it also has to do with the fact that they're really great games that will stand the test of time.
Like, if you're really into it, just do your best not to let it go, because when you let it go, that's when you regret it.
KBIT, the mountain of pure rock and roll. I'm John Bayer, bringing you Into the Void. Let's open those synapses and let's take a trip into the past with our next song from Rebel Gaming Club.
My name is Joe Witter. I am a 37-year-old average collector from Des Moines, Washington, just outside of Seattle. I've been collecting for about 8 years now. I started when my son was born. I needed some kind of a hobby to keep me from going insane because I was a stay-at-home dad. Of course, it's not going to be what she wants to wear when she gets home, but hey, what are we going to do? That wore out quickly when I needed something else to kind of fill the time, you know, other than partying like I used to do. So
I'm even more comfortable with one of these. My name is Tony Frisolo. I am 28 years old. I live in Winter Garden, Florida, and I'm originally from Massachusetts. I've been collecting now for a little over 6 years. How's the hair look? I never really had that many games growing up, just because my mother was very sort of anti-video game for somebody with attention deficit disorder.
Atari.
Thank you, buddy.
And who else? This is where GameCube sports games come to die.
My name's Ryan Dar. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Trumbull, Connecticut. I've been collecting video games for about 11 years.
Really, it started when my parents got me a Game Boy with Tetris as a kid, and I had thought that by stacking the blocks to the top, you won the game. So for about a week, I was a Tetris champion, and then my cousin showed me otherwise. I'm pretty much obsessed with video games.
For me personally, I love cleaning a game up, getting it back to that showroom shine, putting it on the shelf, alphabetizing it, all that. Yeah, it all plays a part in my obsession with it anyway.
I didn't start actually holding on to stuff until probably high school because I realized I wanted to play all the old games again.
Started collecting, went really hard with it. I was a console collector early on. I wanted all the consoles, and that didn't take long. And then I immediately realized, oh man, these games are what are hard to find. So then I started stacking up the games.
Collecting now and playing these games now is like a new experience. I never experienced stuff like Mega Man, Metroid, even the original like Legend of Zelda or all that stuff. I never got to experience it fully when I was a kid. So when I started collecting, it became more of a fun experience for me. to play these games that a lot of collectors play them to relive their childhood. I'm playing them for like the first time.
Well, video games immediately trigger a lot of nostalgia for childhood, and definitely Christmas. It makes me think of Christmas, birthdays, just good, warm, fuzzy memories. Makes me think of a lot of times I played with friends, a lot of Mortal Kombat hash outs, and just brings back a lot of fond memories for the most part. So yeah, like I was saying, I don't know, when I started collecting, it was just me. I felt like I was the only person doing it. I'm sure a lot of people felt that way, but yeah, they're out there.
I think video games, for me and probably a lot of people in my generation, it sort of defines who we are. I don't remember a time in my entire childhood where I didn't have a video game to play, whether it was Pong with my father or Legend of Zelda or Blaster Master with my brothers.
I can honestly state that some of my happiest experiences in my life have been connected to video games, playing video games, the people I've met through video games.
Video games? What are video games? Never heard of them.
For most people, they're their lives.
Yeah, well, it's consumed my life. That's for sure. Not a doubt.
Man, to me, video games are, I don't want to sound too nerdy, but a way of life. From an early age, I just fell in love with it.
I've been collecting games for about 10 years. Started when I was about 20, as far as actually not wanting to resell stuff and keep stuff. But there's so many games from like when you were a kid, and you think you know all these games, but then there's always another game that comes along, and it just kind of surprises you how good it is. So it's just, I always love discovering games that I didn't know about, or maybe games that I had just played a little bit and playing them again as an adult, because it's a totally different experience.
So I know it might be weird to some people that I'm collecting stuff that's old and to some archaic, but I actually think that the main reason that drives me is when I pick up one of those old games and look at the label or look at the box art, I'm 10 years old again. I'm back to when I didn't have to work 60 hours a week and didn't have to cut my own grass, and my hugest responsibility was my homework. So for me, it's a way to kind of escape adult life and just for a little while go back to when things were less serious and when things didn't matter.
How long have I been collecting video games? Probably most of my life, since childhood.
I have been collecting for 17 years now, so about when I was 11 is when I started.
Now I just turned 38 in September, so 32.
I've been collecting my entire life. My parents were big gamers, so I was born into it.
I've been collecting for about maybe 10 years or so as a hardcore collector. I've been playing games since I was a little kid, like 4 years old, on the Coleco, the Atari.
Probably since 1987.
Probably a good 7 years.
I've been collecting, it'll be 3 years this coming March.
I started collecting toys, and then from toys it just ventured out to retro games.
I've been collecting video games and toys since I was about 8 years old, so I'd say about 28 years.
Well, I got my first Atari 2600 in the early 80s, so that was 1981. Yeah, so how old are we now? Pretty old, actually, so yeah, that's a long time. You do the math, I don't know.
I probably started around 10, but it's hard to exactly say this is when it all started.
That, my other phone, stuff I'm bringing to my dad's, hat. We're good. My steering wheel makes noise. See, that's another thing, man. When you're a collector, all your money, it goes to collecting. I mean, I don't have time to fix my car. This door over here doesn't even open, but, I'll be damned if I'm gonna spend my money on that. As long as I have gas and it still moves, the car's good to me. So many times I'm pulling up here with a back seat full of games, peeling off labels. Got Goodwill stickers all over the steering wheel, stuck to my pants. Just a day in the life. This horrible monstrosity of Coca-Cola crates are my doubles that I have got to purge soon because it's becoming an earthquake hazard. This is just embarrassing. Whoa! Yeah, the purge has to come on my doubles very soon. It's, and that's another thing, I'm not a single guy, so having all of this stuff in my house with, a girlfriend, 2 kids, a dog and a cat, it's like it takes up a huge chunk of real estate. I'm planning on taking these down to a local game store and see what I can unload, hopefully. Hopefully I can turn a huge pile of stuff into maybe 1 or 2 games. That's the plan. Reggie just called me 4 minutes ago. Reggie, what's going on? You at home? I'm gonna put a couple games away and then I'm gonna head over to Tacoma to Reggie's. All right.
No actual count on any of what you own as far as different systems.
Oh, on my collections, yeah, I've got a count on some of my stuff. I've got probably around about 650 NES games. I just got over the 400 milestone on PlayStation 2 recently, which is it's a very big area. I've got about 200 GameCube games. Geez, somewhere around 250 PS1. Some of the more obscure stuff I have smaller collections of, like CDI. Other than my current Gen stack here, I've got like my Wii U, PS4, some of my PS3, some of my Wii, and some of my Xbox 360. But even that stuff is it's spilling over into my game room now, at my dad's. Keys, smokes, phone, wallet. All right. So we are off to Reggie Williams' house. He was going to take a trip over to Super Smash Games, his local used video game store. So I figured I'd join him since I have so many doubles and they're bursting at the seams. I figured let's go with Reggie. Downsize, man. Downsize. It doesn't happen every day, so it's kind of a big deal. I almost ate shit on these stairs one time so bad.
My name is Reggie Williams. Most of you guys know me as Radical Reggie. I am 36 years old. I live in Washington. Good, man. And I would say I've been collecting games for around 20 years now.
Place was good.
I know, finally for once, dude. I finally gave it a little maintenance and everything. To be honest with you, video games are pretty much the heart. Video games actually remind me of a time, that was really carefree, if that makes any sense. It's a time of no responsibility, just a good time, laughs,
Clean, dude. That was good.
I know. I should probably turn it on.
Just like the one Andy had. Ooh, that is fancy.
They called me PlayStation Williams back in the military, so now I got the official sign with the title. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. I can't. I showed that to my mom, man. She was like, "Whoa, that's all you needed."
that's right up your alley.
Did you want a console when you were a kid, or did your dad?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I wanted one like crazy. I was always in the arcades before the consoles came out, and once we got a console, that kept me out of the arcades, and my parents were pretty happy about that.
The first console game I've ever played is Pong. We used to have an old version of it, probably not the original Pong, but it was one of the many spin-offs of it.
First memory of video games is just playing the Pong clone console that we had when I was a kid called the Olympian 2600.
I remember a long time ago, my dad bringing home like a generic Pong unit. It was TV Scoreboard by Radio Shack. And I remember playing with my brother. It was a 2-portion unit, and it looked like a walkie-talkie with a little sidecar.
Earliest fond memory is playing Sears Pong on a black and white TV with my father, and then playing definitely Atari 2600.
I'm pretty sure the first console I ever played was the Atari 2600. I mean, it was pretty damn prevalent at the time. I didn't really know what the difference was between that and the Intellivision and the ColecoVision, but I remember, you know, the joysticks. I remember the bad Pac-Man port. I remember a lot of other games.
My first memory of playing games was playing Smurf Adventure on the ColecoVision. Rescue at Gargamel's Castle. ColecoVision is still like very near and dear to my heart. I have a bunch of ColecoVision stuff.
My fondest memories are of playing the Intellivision that I had when I was a kid. My friends and I played it before school, after school, every day for years.
First and fondest memories is playing Batman on the Commodore 64. It was a hard game. I beat it and it was just fun to play, and also Turrican on the Commodore 64. It was a really good game.
Yeah. I played Pong with my brother, and I remember when my brother won or lost, he would turn it off. He would turn the system off and like not want to play anymore.
And hiding like an old t-shirt on top of the Nintendo deck so mom wouldn't know the Nintendo was on all night, and leave the TV off, and those were the things we had to do before game saves. You guys, the younger crowd will never understand the struggle.
When we were kids, there's no iPads or phones. My daughter asked me that the other day, Daddy, when you were a kid, did you have an iPad? No, sweetie. When I was a kid, it was Atari.
I'm gonna have to go all the way back to the Atari 2600. I clearly remember playing my brother at Fishing Derby, excuse me. And yeah, we played a lot of that. Fishing Derby and Empire Strikes Back on the 2600. Yeah, I've definitely introduced some of the older stuff to the kids, and they like it, you know.
My first memories of having like an Atari was fun, as my dad introduced me to that, and we would play some games together, and that you know, I think it meant a lot to me.
Well, I was born, you see, into a family that had an Atari 2600, actually. For some reason, I'm not nostalgic for the 2600 as much as I am for the NES. Probably because the NES was the first console that I got.
The first console that I ever played was an NES growing up. I remember it, I was very young. I was 5 or 6 years old. My parents got one, probably because it was cheap. The Super Nintendo was actually out at that time, but I was poor. So that's the console we got.
My friends had video game systems, but I never asked my mom for one or anything like that. I just went to their house and played them. But for some reason, Christmas, my mom just surprised me and got me a Nintendo Entertainment System. I was like, I'm still kind of shocked to the day about it, because I didn't even ask for it. She just like surprising me with stuff like that.
My first gift, I think, was an original Nintendo and Mario.
Actually, my earliest memory is my dad bought us an NES for Christmas, but it turned out it was actually for him.
My mom was the reason we got a Nintendo. She wanted Legend of Zelda, so when that game came out, we got a Nintendo.
Well, why would an adult want to play Legend of Zelda?
Why would an adult want to play? Why wouldn't an adult want to play Legend of Zelda? I mean, it's a great game, and probably, I mean, it's the original, so probably the best Zelda.
First and fondest memory about video games was when Woolworths, which used to be a chain store out west, they actually went out of business. And my dad came home from work one day and said, "Hey, I heard they have these Atari systems on clearance. Let's go see what that's all about." So we drove down there that night, bought an Atari 2600, and I think we bought 7 games because they're so dirt cheap that my dad just bought one of every one that they actually had left. And one of those happened to be Berserk. And I'll never forget the night sitting there with my father playing Berserk until about midnight. I mean, he let us stay up. He was as mesmerized as we were, frankly. We'd never seen anything that cool. And it was that point where I was absolutely hooked.
Video games got me through a lot of rough times when I was a kid. I moved a lot, and I always was in a different place in Australia, and always went to like 7 different schools. So it was hard to keep friends when I kept moving all the time. So video games became my friends. And going to Blockbuster or Video Easy and renting the next Zelda or whatever it was to hang out with me. It sounds sad, but it was when I was at home and when I was moving, when I was traveling so much. It really helped me get through. And I just love them since then.
Did I ever rent? All I did was rent games. because I was a normal kid in the 80s.
Renting video games is probably a bigger part of the nostalgia of growing up with video games than anything else, because that's how I played most of our games. Every Friday night, we'd go over to my grandmother's house with my cousin. We would rent a video game. And sometimes my cousin would rent the stupidest things imaginable. That's why I've played a lot of dumb games.
I think I started the video game rental business. I can't quantify it, I can't prove it, none of that stuff's documented. But in 1984, I was involved with a company called Vito Supreme on Richmond Road in Lexington, Kentucky. And I convinced them to renting ColecoVision games. And this is years before the Nintendo was even out in the States. And I never saw anybody rent a game until the NES dropped. But I don't know for sure, but if it wasn't the first, it was one of the first.
Yeah, rental stores were interesting because it seemed like within a couple of years, they started to pop up everywhere. So we're talking around 87, 88, VHS got more and more popular. I think the prices started to come down on the players. So stores would pop up, and at the time you had to pay in to be a member of these stores. You don't realize you had to pay like $100, $200, and that's $200 in 88 money, 87 money, to be a member or just to have the privilege of buying or to pay money to rent this stuff.
Craze videos, we had Game Crazy, we had GameStop, couple,
Bowman Video, and it was in Cottonwood, California.
Custom Top and Video Shop.
Yeah, everything was purple and teal. It was very hideous.
Oh man, one that sticks out in particular is called Farmore. It's not even around anymore.
Yes, I did. I rented many games from a place called Crazy Mike's Video, and no, they're long gone. But yeah, I rented a ton of games. Mostly bad, a few good.
Hollywood Video, Blockbuster Video.
Really, for me, it was Movie Gallery. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I feel like in my area, Movie Gallery was in like every block. What? So then once my broke ass built up this debt with Movie Gallery that I couldn't afford, I moved on to Hollywood Video.
Oh man, I wish that I remember what that place was called. It was this tiny little video store down the street from my neighborhood. Like I can remember you'd go in and on the left were movies and on the right was porn, and then you had two glass cases and the glass cases were all the games up front. So like just beeline to that glass case on the left because that's where the Nintendo stuff was.
I had a lot of NES games. We actually rented out our games to the other kids in the neighborhood. We had a little sheet where we'd put the name of the kid, and we'd charge them, I don't remember how much it was, maybe $2 to rent the game for a night. So we were actually the rental store in my neighborhood.
Did you ever return your games?
Well, no, that's why I ended up with, I have a bad temper when I'm playing games. So
you were breaking them, I get it.
You break one game, they want to charge you $50, so you just move on to the next rental place, I guess.
Zelda, dude, it was all about Zelda back then. So like Zelda was something that I rented, and I rented it so much. And these kids, they don't know, because I would rent that thing over the weekend. They were closed on Sunday. You get like an extra day, give it back on like Monday morning or whatever, and then rent it again the next Friday. And you had to sign up. There were sign-ups. I don't know if everybody else had that. Like you would sign up. There was like a reserve list for certain games, and Zelda was one of them. I would go back the next weekend and get it, thinking that I would be able to complete my game, and like, no, it had already been rented like 2 more times during the week. My game's gone. It's like, John has erased mine, and so like now I'm erasing John's.
So rental stores were integral in getting kids to try new games. Otherwise, unless you trade with your friends, there was no way to discover all these new games because you couldn't afford them.
Yeah, we rented video games all the time. It was a cheap way to be able to play. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. We got video games basically on special occasions, birthday, Christmas, things like that. So, if we report cards, that was, kind of incentive for us to keep our grades up. Our parents would take us to the video rental store and we'd rent video games.
Yeah, so I remember going to Magic Star Video, which might have lasted 3 years, 4 years. A lot of these places went under quickly because there's too many of them.
Every other one is gone and forgotten. Mom and pop shops don't tend to make it.
I can't even express in words the excitement. Once Friday came around, we would go to the video store, rent a video game, and that entire weekend was set just because of that game. or destroyed because the game sucked, whichever. But the point is, that's a very big part of whenever I look back, that's a very big part of the whole gaming experience. It's just sitting in either like a rental store or a Blockbuster and just looking at the box art of a game and not knowing anything about it, not knowing if the game is good, bad. You just see the box cover and then turn it around, you see the gameplay, and you're like, oh, this looks awesome. And then just trying to pick what you want to play that weekend. And I miss that. I miss that because that's gone away. You'll never see that again. You know, everything's going digital and nobody rents games anymore. And it's gone for good.
I rented games weekly from a store called Video World. I just loved the whole idea of going into the store, browsing through, selecting something, bringing it back next week to get something brand new. Like, I don't know, the concept to me as a kid was just amazing. It was this one right here, the one that says for lease. That was Video World. No, it's a Parker's restaurant.
How and why did I start collecting games?
Video game collecting seems to affect people because it's like picking up all the pieces of your childhood and putting them back together. So it's a lot of things you remembered as a kid, but it's also things you didn't remember, like where was I when this came out?
Basically, everybody, when they get to a certain age, I think, kind of starts missing their childhood to a degree. You start thinking about things that they grew up with. And for me, one of the biggest things that I grew up with was video games.
Video games affected me very personally because when I was younger, my parents went through a divorce, as I'm sure many kids did. And for me, it was sort of a bit of a solace away from the process of my parents going through a divorce. So I sort of latched onto video games, and in sort of a manner of speaking, it sort of carried me through that sea of hurt, really.
Remembering a few classic games that I really wanted to play. And I don't know if it had to do with me having children and like, hey, getting that nostalgia feeling.
It's a great way to rekindle your childhood. And I think that's something that, aside from this hobby, this transcends this hobby. We all want to go back to that simple time. And for me, capturing those video games that I had really gave me that feeling.
It's definitely a lot to do with memories for me. Even more than memories, it was the feeling I had of security. So that was huge for me. So it kind of sparked the nostalgia and the security I felt, based on the comfort that they provided me when I was younger. So flipping through old Nintendo Powers or Nintendo Fun Club news, those are great ways to kind of rekindle the spirit of what we experienced when we were younger.
I was young, grew up poor, started from the very bottom. My mom worked 3 jobs, and I didn't have a father, so I think I moved to collecting to find that security or whatever. Back in the late 70s, all my friends were collecting baseball cards and stuff like that, and it didn't really interest me. And so when Atari 2600 came out and I bought a couple of games, I was like, hey, I'm going to start collecting this.
We were at a flea market.
Treasure Isle.
No, Turtle Creek.
Turtle Creek.
Turtle Creek
You're right.
Flea Market, to
You're
be
right.
exact. And I walk in this booth while they're all eating lunch in the food court. Who eats food at a food court at a flea market anyways? But I go in this store and I see all these old games that's bringing back memories from when I was younger, and I was like, man, why don't I play these games anymore?
I started working at a video game store when I was in college, and I was like, oh, these games come in and I can just buy them with a discount? And then that kind of exploded from there.
And when I got into college, it was more like, now I've got a little bit of disposable income and I'm going after games that like maybe my parents didn't get me as a kid, but I really wanted. So like now it's my chance to like experience all the stuff that maybe I read about in Nintendo Power, but nobody ever had a copy, or I didn't rent it, or nobody had, it to rent. Like EVO, like nobody had that game growing up.
So I've been collecting for over 30 years now, but it was really a small sort of personal collection. It really wasn't until I started Winter Eye Game Studios that I started expanding out a little bit, when it became more about the curation, the education, when we started approaching the medium a little more critically, is when it made sense to start a collection.
I always tell people I sold Contra for money for a sandwich. I'll never remember that sandwich, but I'll always remember Contra. The collecting came back for me when I started doing the Angry Video Game Nerd episodes, because then people started sending me games, or then it just became a necessity also to be able to review the games. I needed to have the games, so that would become a whole new level of collecting. And then it also became a set. So you see the nerd and you see the games behind him and everything. It's part of the show. Collecting is an important part of the show, so that's where it really came back for me.
With the advent of eBay and the online marketplace, you could get online and find all these games that you could never afford as a kid for $2, $3, $5, in some cases even $10. And I quickly realized, because I was all grown up, had my own job, and figured out, hey, I could go buy all of the games. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I could play every single game that I never got to play as a kid.
Thinking back, I don't know what made me want to keep doing it, because when you have other people that are interested and they think it's cool, then it kind of motivates you to collect. So
for me, it was again, I started buying and selling and trading in the mid to late 90s. And it wasn't until after a while where I realized, hey, I have a pretty nice collection of games here. And then when I had friends that would come over saying wow, you have a lot of games. I grew up with 10 or 15 of them, and here I have piles of them. So the more that happened, the more that fed my ego. And I was like, okay, well, you think that's impressive. Let's see how big we can make this pile next time you come over.
Hey, kid. Do you like video games? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you want the largest selection of video games ever? Well, what are you waiting for? Oh, come on down to the tri-state area's largest and most radical video game store there is. Video Game Junkies. We've got it all, and if we don't have it, you don't need it. Video Game Junkies. Located off I-296, exit 203, next to the Movie Kingdom in Belmont.
When you collect retro games, it's basically finding games that are no longer in production or that are, kind of hard to find. It's not like you can walk into a Best Buy and buy an NES game.
My name is Carolyn Rodriguez. I'm an assistant professor of psychiatry and behavioral science here at Stanford University. The focus of my research is developing new treatments for obsessive compulsive disorder, also called OCD, and the newly identified hoarding disorder. Certainly one of the things that I find that I admire most about collectors is their determination, their focus, their energy on really curating a collection. When you're invited to someone's home and you see a collection, whether it be video games or anything else, you really, as the person who is looking upon that collection, you can't help but really admire how the thoughtfulness of how these different components of the collection are playing together, and the time period and the theme.
I met a few key guys in the Seattle area, my buddy Casey, and he was telling me, oh man, I'm a big collector, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he can be bigger than me, until he shared some photos, and I'm like, oh my God, it is possible, Then you start hearing about other people in the community, like the immortal John Hancock, and you're like, dear God, how can anyone have that many games? That's just insanity.
I come from a family of collectors. My mom collected Coca-Cola products and dolls, and I used to go to the flea mart with my mom when I was a child. And I first started with baseball cards. I was collecting baseball cards when that was popular in the 80s. And then cards moved to comics, and comics moved to action figures. But the problem I had with collecting is, I was looking at these things and then package. I collected a lot of action figures for Star Wars, especially when the Power of Force 2 line came out. I couldn't do anything with them. Like, it was like, okay, this is fun. But I noticed that a lot of people were selling video games really cheap at flea markets and stuff, and I was getting more interested in that. And when I came to be in college and I had a slight disposable income, $20 here and there, I started collecting Nintendo cartridges, going to flea markets, thrift stores, and chump change and collecting that. And so that's really when it started. I started collecting video games back then, and I found it as an inexpensive hobby, and collecting and finding a lot of fun out of playing some old classic games.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like, I find it hard to just put away like 3 or 4 different games when I get to my place in alphabetical order, and I couldn't even imagine that, having games in front of games.
So this is my Sega wall, and it goes all the way down there. And every Master System game, including recently I won this in an auction, Sonic, including Sonic with the UPC label variation. Every Sega Genesis game, CIB, in alphabetical order. I have a lot of oddball stuff as well. Every 32X game, including Spider-Man Web of Fire, which right here is the hard one. About 50 games short of a Sega Saturn collection, but I have a complete Sega Dreamcast collection, PlayStation long box set complete. A lot of fun collecting that. Over 900 PlayStation 1 games. I got PS2, Xbox. The Sega Genesis is kind of my pride and joy. I'm kind of known as a Sega collector, but as you can see, I collect everything. I have about 24 complete collections with a few others that I'm like 1 or 2 away they're really hard to find. I started collecting games seriously about 20 years ago, and having what I have now, I never would have imagined that.
For any collector of anything, if you can't display it, then you should probably think twice about it. And you got to keep it nice. That's what being a collector is all about.
And actually, I've kind of categorized like Konami games and then the Capcom games. I like how they kind of like uniform like that, the black box games. And if I alphabetized it, I wouldn't be able to do that.
I was like, I really want to go and try to get this entire library of games just to experience everything that this system had to offer back in the day that I couldn't do when I was a child.
Yeah, there's not that much that I don't have that kind of fits in my narrow focus of collecting. I mean, I still have probably 100 Atari 2600 games and 50 ColecoVision games, but besides that, there's only a handful that I don't have.
I don't know what really drove me in the beginning besides just the thought of, it'd be cool to have a full, set of NES games. I grew up with it, and it'd be neat to have that someday.
I had a conversation with my old lady. I broached the topic with her about, hey, I've got this idea. I'm thinking about trying to get one of every Nintendo game. Are you okay with that? And she was, and so that was kind of the beginning of it. It was just looking at the shelf and like questioning, I wonder how many there are, not even being that deep into it, but then like that was what started it, was just that question. How many are there?
I mean, once I joined Nintendo Age and saw people were going for full sets and that was like a thing, I decided, yeah, I want full sets of my favorite systems, so I have them preserved forever. My kids can play them one day. They won't have to pay hundreds of dollars on eBay for them.
Do I ever think I would ever want to own 800 NES games? The thoughts come through my mind, but I keep thinking to myself, like, how am I going to play 800 NES games?
Oh, man.
Holy Grail, my Holy Grail, what would that be? Is game console, game that I want. I mean, right now, the Cool Kids Club game is Little Samson, let's be honest.
Yeah, like Little Samson. Absolutely, man. That's like, you got that and you're immediately cool. I think, yeah, obviously limited runs on games or late releases have a lot to do with super expensive copies.
Panic Restaurant, it was a great find for $5. I still just can't believe that I had no idea that I was getting a great deal, you know. So I saw a collection online, and he had this guy's collection looked similar to mine maybe now, and he had Little Samson and Panic Restaurant sitting out. And at the time, I'm like, why has he got Panic Restaurant sitting there? So I, look on eBay, search Panic Restaurant. It's like, holy crap,
My holy grail is on a system that I had no interest in while I was growing up, and that's the Sega CD Snatcher. I've heard so many people talk about this game and how amazing it is, and it is so hard to find. It is so expensive that I'm unwilling to pay the hundreds of dollars that it's going to cost to get this game.
So do you have a complete 2600? Nobody has a complete 2600 collection, and I doubt anybody will ever will. There's just so many that there are so few of that's like one of a kind, and the people that have those aren't going to give them up.
But I've never, like some collectors, they'll spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a game, thousands. Somebody at this very con spent $7,000 on a video game. Same events.
I guess the first thing is, you got my full Nintendo set, and then obviously somebody out there is going to say, full set, do you have stadium events? No, I don't have stadium events. There's the hole, maybe someday.
The same thing with stadium events. Like, I'm never going to drop that much money for one of those.
Hey Dave, fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, Joe, you too, but what the hell are we doing?
Why are we in lab coats?
I don't know.
Well, the answer, Dave, is because we are smart.
I kind of feel smart in a lab coat.
Indeed. In fact, we have a combined IQ of nearly 120.
That's pretty damn smart.
I have 100, he has probably less than 20. Anyway, well, Dave, why is stadium events so crazy rare?
That's a good question, Joe, and I think the reason is because Bandai came out with stadium events, and at one point Nintendo, somewhere along the lines, said, hey, you know what, we want that game, and they took it and made world-class track meet.
A game for the Nintendo Power Pad, and it's okay, but people don't care about world-class track meet. They want to track down stadium events, just because there's not many of them out there,
exactly,
and they want it for their shelf.
And they're willing to spend thousands of dollars for a sports game.
Wow.
Inconceivable.
Can you move it slightly more toward the wall? Keep going. There we go.
I was able to pick up a stadium events without spending any money. And a couple other, I actually had to trade my entire 2600 collection for it, but so technically not.
Was it
free.
complete box?
It's complete in box. I believe it's sitting right over my shoulder, in fact.
I won an auction at the Classic Gaming Expo, mid-2000s. I won a very expensive Atari 2600 game, and I won it for $100. It was in a mystery auction box. And a gentleman online wanted the game so bad, he bought a Stadium Events on eBay with a sealed Cheetahman 2 and some other games and traded it straight across. So that's my story for getting Stadium Events for $100. Right here, just pull this. Right there. That's the US Stadium Events.
Wow. It really bothers me that I can't see. That's what happens. I said that, I don't remember somewhere. I have a full set, and it doesn't even the layman now knows. Oh, do you have Stadium Events? Why do you know that, dude? I know that you know nothing about games, but you know Stadium Events. You know to ask me when I say I have a full set, do you have Stadium Events? That pisses me off so much.
You don't want me to do the Holy Grail? I can. It's NWC.
I mean, it's kind of cliche. I've got everything that I want but NWC that I can't afford right now.
What about the Nintendo World Championship cards? What's the deal with those?
Well, at one point, Nintendo had a competition, which you'd play 3 different games. They were all under a time limit to see who was the best game around. Finalists to that event were given gray cartridges.
Ooh.
Yes, and wonderful gray cartridges, just like the majority of the cartridges on this system.
Wow.
But Nintendo also held a contest in Nintendo Power magazine, which the winners of that got the gold cartridge.
Ooh.
Yes, just like the Legend of Zelda cartridges, they were solid gold.
So Dave,
solid gold.
I couldn't go down to Lionel Playworld and buy a Nintendo World Championship cartridge at any time ever.
At any time ever, no.
And Dave, would you pay over $30,000 for one of these?
No, of course not, because
$20,000?
No.
Okay.
Maybe if I was a millionaire, I'd think about it, but
I wouldn't.
If I had money to burn.
If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't have gotten there by making stupid decisions like that. But hey, who are we to judge? If you want to spend your money on that,
Go
more
right
power
ahead.
to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets in collecting was not buying I had 3 opportunities to buy a gold NWC. The first time was for $800. The second time was for $2,500. And the third time was for $5,000. And looking back on that, and there were 3 different copies, I could really kick myself for not picking up one or all of those. So that's my biggest regret. And the second to that would be stadium events. I had multiple opportunities to buy stadium events for a fraction of what it would cost today. So you can only imagine my pain.
What's the going rate for a copy of a gray cart?
Gray and WCs, the price fluctuates. It kind of depends on who's in the market to buy and how many are available. I would say a good range is between 12 and 17,000. I don't think 17 has been hit in a while, so I would say it's probably closer to 12,000. Same with stadium events. It's a lot of people feel that it's close to a $20,000 game now, but unless you see sales for that amount, it's hard to justify saying it's worth that much.
I'm not anybody to tell anybody what to do with their money, but if I was that was me, I couldn't spend that much on something like that. I just couldn't do it, and so that doesn't put me in the position to have regrets.
It goes for $35,000. Who has that? If you got $35,000 to spend on one game to complete your Nintendo collection, US, whatever, what 35 grand to spend on one game. You know what I mean? Are you financially set? Like, you have to be.
I don't know. A lot of people say that people are hoarding certain copies of games. I don't think that has too much to do with it, really.
I think that's where we're at right now. We're at the maturity of the hobby. And so there are people, there are investment firms that are actually coming in and buying very high-end games, like very high-end graded games for huge amounts of money, and they're sitting on them. So, I think there's always a real possibility that someone's gonna wake up one day and find a case of sealed stadium events, which actually happened recently. So you have to be cognizant of that.
Is it true?
I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor by someone who's fairly reputable, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I think there's a very good chance that there's several sealed stadium events cases out there. I don't think it's going to drop the value of them at all, though, because let's say you have 2 cases of sealed stadium events, that's 12 games. Well, I think there's only about 20 complete copies in the world that I know of. So you just, improve that by 30%. Still going to be very valuable.
So Beanie Babies was interesting because the creator of that purposely inflated the prices by making things rare, whereas our hobby, things are rare because we threw out the freaking boxes.
To me, it's just like, man, that's great, dude. You spent 10 grand on the Nintendo World Championship when you could have spent that money on something a little bit more productive in your life. I mean, that to me is just like, I would never spend that much. Now, if I found it for $1, oh, I would brag all up and down the internet that I found an NWC for $1. I think anybody would.
So what's the plan?
The plan today, brother, is we're gonna go down to Super Smash Games. You know,
Okay,
check out what they
okay.
got down there. I mean, 3 friends were able to come together and make the store work, man. That's pretty awesome. And they're going on their 4th year. I mean, that's pretty sick, man.
Because you know, Washington State, man, there's a ton of games here. You know what I mean? I guess there's a ton of games everywhere, but
Washington probably, you know, because Nintendo and Microsoft are here, so
right,
you might
yeah.
find some crazy stuff here.
Careful. Yeah, I brought some.
You don't mess around, Joe.
Yeah, I needed to have something to show.
I'm gonna go to the PlayStation stuff.
That's your section, right?
That's my section right here, man. Y'all are rare. This is the comments right here.
Yeah, I already see a ton I don't have too.
Man, do you know that game? Do you play Super Nintendo games? When you can.
Yeah, when I can. I don't go out of my way. They're so expensive, man.
I think this is like
damn, they got a lot.
Yeah, they do.
I still don't have one of those.
First one?
Yeah.
Look at that. They got a Panasonic GameCube up in here.
Oh, no way. Where?
Right there.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
You know, I wish I had got one back when they first came out, man.
And this play DVDs, so I forgot about it.
It plays, I don't know if it's region free, but you can make them region free. But if they came out with this instead of the GameCube, I mean, it would have almost somewhat competed with the PS2.
Such a weird mashup, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that. I'm looking at that Panasonic Cube, man. That thing's shiny, calling my name.
You could do 310 store credit or 246 cash.
Let's do store credit, man.
Cool. What are you after?
I was after that GameCube, Panasonic Cube, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that was my intention to leave with one thing.
That's a good thing to leave with.
Yeah. Like shiny stuff.
What are you gonna get?
I'll give you the honors.
Oh, yeah? Move this real quick.
Oh, no, man.
Oh, right here.
What?
Yeah.
You serious? Man, you're insane.
It's heavier than I thought.
It's pretty
Whoa.
heavy. Yeah, we put weights in there to weigh it.
Yeah.
Man, you go all out, man.
Oh, no, this was at my apartment.
Whoa.
Yeah. in the
Oh,
poker.
that's that tall stack? This is that stuff?
Yeah, some of it. Still hella though.
No problem, man.
Well, looks just like all those games I got them for dirt, so, you know, at the end of the day, that's the deal.
I don't think I could do a store.
I think it would kill my passion.
Well, you know what the killer in the mostly stores are is customers. Man, I mean, it's just retail.
You like video games, buddy?
Yeah.
What's your favorite system, retro system?
The
Nintendo?
Like Nintendo,
the
Nintendo 64?
Nintendo. I like PS4.
PS4?
Yeah, I play FIFA, you know.
Yeah, I like
FIFA,
it.
yeah.
I said retro system, he said PS4. I said, what's your favorite retro system? You know that PS4?
It was funny is he could speak Spanish and he didn't.
It looks very happy.
That's not
My
good.
other son is 5 years old. I'm 4 years old and he looks very teeth.
Pray to the Nintendo god real quick. You made it worse.
We're gonna have to test this on an original console.
I do 45.
Okay.
You cool with that?
I'm 45 years. It's good.
Alright, let's do that, Jacob. 45?
Thank you very much. No problem, sir. Thank you.
So, right now I'm taking Darren to my storage units and show him what we've accumulated over the years from me collecting and reselling, of course. But
how long have you been collecting, Greg?
96. 96 was the year I really started, like heavy duty.
What do you think it is that made you start collecting? Like, did
My
you play
aunt-
games growing up? Like,
I have a really heavy Hispanic side of my family.
Viva la raza!
Yeah, like that kind of, but not so ghetto. And they and they would take me out to what they call segundas, which I'm assuming is like a resale shop or flea markets, plugas, stuff like that. So they would take me to these places, and it got to the point where around 96 Nintendo started phasing out, so I would find them for cheap, like real cheap. Like she would go to the, I guess you would call them back then, like scratch and dent stores, like where they actually had entire inventory of that, which those are getting less and less popular. If you're about as old as I am, you'll remember those little holes in the wall. Scratch and dent places. Well, find Nintendo games there with a hole in them, $5, brand new game. So let's start buying them up. Birthday money, Christmas money, and cutting yards and stuff. So I've almost had a few complete collections, but recently, there's something always happens. Like this recent one, there was a pastor in this church that had a stroke, and you know, I know him very well personally. So I donated my entire collection to fund his bills for the next few months, and that was probably about 5 or 6 months ago. So yeah, so now I've recently started again, because they're only things. At the end of the day, you can't take them with you. So I mean, of course, you can have them there and give them to your children's children, or you can help somebody out now. We try to help people out when we can. Just because the games are expensive and we're a store, I mean, I don't want that stigma of, oh, they're just greedy, penny-pinching bastards, because we're not. And as gamers helping gamers, so naturally, that's what we do, that's what we are. So it's really interesting going back from all the stigma I used to get, 90s, early 2000s, collecting and stuff like that. And everybody would look at me like I was stupid. Now it's just part of pop culture. So it's actually really neat to watch that happen and be a part of something like that. It's really interesting to see where this all headed out, because I used to hear so much shit about grabbing old games, and it was always negative. And now it's always like, oh, you collect games? You know, now you're cool. It's really strange. But I like it. Doing the game store has been a blessing, because I get to meet people like Darren. I get to meet people like Tony, and I would have never have met these people if it wasn't for opening a game shop. And now I get more time with my family than I ever did before, and it's just really, really good to go from a collector to kind of just selling because you ain't making it so good, to just opening a store, getting that idea from that. It's just a really, really, really cool thing that's happened to me that I'm very grateful for. And if any of my customers or friends are watching this, freaking love you guys, every one of you. Thank you.
The worst thing about video game collecting.
Worst thing would probably have to be space.
The worst part is finding space. Where do I put it all?
Where am I going to put my collection?
Space? Yeah, space is a killer, man. I can't even imagine like those dudes that are branching out and trying to do like every system. I mean, I'm Nintendo focused, and you can already see that like this is a room in a house and it's gone.
Space, the final frontier for every collector.
Budget.
The prices and the way the prices fluctuated, eBay, yes. Craigslist, that's the worst thing about collecting.
The rising prices of the harder to find games. I mean, I think that's definitely the downside of it.
This is really generic, but the first thing I'm going to go with is just the drama. I've dealt with quite a bit of drama, being a moderator of a Facebook group. You have to expose a lot of shady people. There's a lot of people out there trying to take advantage of collectors, sell repro, fake games, things like that, not send packages at all. And I don't know, man, it just feels like, you know, our community is not like, we're not like bodybuilders or like badasses, you know. There's a lot of vulnerable people out there that can easily get taken advantage of. And yeah, I just don't like the wolves out there, you could say.
I think it should be a little bit more of a welcoming community. It's not always.
I still have a huge passion for this, man. I really do love this stuff. But some of them guys in them Facebook groups, man, they kill it, man. Start reading that crap and then you just don't want to do it no more. Like, oh, you like Wrath of the Black Manta, you're an idiot. You know, that kind of elitist. Ah! It's really obnoxious. I just keep my mouth shut. I mean, no sense in trying to be a keyboard warrior. It's just like, man, you're a douchebag.
There's so many haters out there on Facebook in the groups that you just can't be part of it, man. Jealousy is so ugly, and you know, even some of my people I consider friends are some jealous people, and it's just like, come on, don't do that.
Every time I get a notification on one of my posts, I don't even want to look at it because I know it's somebody just being an idiot or a jerk. People's mentality on there, like, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of jerks. Like 90% of the people on there just believe they know everything, and instead of helping you out and giving you the information, they throw it at you as if you should have known it and you're an idiot for not knowing it.
All right, the worst part about collecting is the scumbag resellers. They're everywhere.
The term resellers has a certain connotation to it.
My thoughts on resellers.
Resellers. Anything that gets popular, people are going to try to capitalize on.
The nasty reseller.
You know what that is, right?
I don't know if I've heard it expressed that way before.
I think they're necessary. I mean, like, when you go to swap meets and when you go to conventions and there's either stores or individuals selling the games, they're resellers for the most part. It's a way to feed your hobby, be it on, you know, in person, trades, conventions, eBay. Like, you're gonna have to fuel the fire somehow. So I think I don't want to say it's necessary evil, but it kind of is. I think it's something you kind of have to do if you're going to be a collector.
Yeah, there's two types. Yeah, the ones that are just into it for the money. Boy.
I think if you collect as an investment, just like as with any investment, you have the chance of it crashing. I think when people start getting into the hobby too much to flip a dollar, to make a buck, they're giving the hobby kind of a black eye, if you will.
A good seller of a game actually, cares about the hobby, a guy that's in it, not just to make money. Of course, everyone wants to make money, but actually has a knowledge of what they're selling, can help people about what they're selling. What are these games that, like, what actually are in these games? Which one's fun? Why does this one have notoriety? Why is this one more money than this one? Why is this one rarer? Why did no one buy this one? Versus someone gets into the business just to be a profiteer entirely, and basically just to go, oh, I know how much this goes for on eBay, so if I find it for $5, I can charge you $35, and then act like an asshole.
In our show, we've always said resellers are bad, fuck resellers, this and that. And I wish we never threw it out there like that, because that's not what we mean. Not all resellers are bad. It's price gouging. It's people just being assholes just for being assholes. Charging $30, $40 for Super Mario Bros. 3 just because you can.
It actually turns people off from the hobby, which is what I don't think a lot of these sellers understand. That if you put up this elite barrier, it's like you're not doing yourself any favors, and in the long run, you're turning people away.
Something is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. So if there aren't people out there willing to pay X number of dollars for a game, then it's not going to sell. So people drive the demand, not the other way around.
It kind of stinks, having a personal collection and wanting to buy for your own personal collection and then being a video game toy store owner. Because, from my personal view, I don't want to pay a certain value or X amount of dollars for a rare game. But then I have that same rare game in my store and I have to sell it for that to survive. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I understand, yeah.
Even though I'm a reseller, I see the other side, like from a collector standpoint. So I think that actually helps me as a reseller because I'm collecting, so I kind of see it from the other side of the counter.
I think what really the problem is people that have no passion for games at all, that just see it as a widget that they can make money on. It might as well be a Beanie Baby.
I think resellers are basically in a league of their own. They ruin what this community stands for.
If you're a collector and a reseller, I don't think that's a bad thing, because honestly, most collectors that resell just resell their dupes or trade with people. It's the resellers that don't give a shit about video games.
A good example is the Amiibos. Those brought out all the resellers, and everybody was buying them up, flipping them for $1, and market crashed.
But I think people throw around the term reseller like way too loosely. You know, it's like if you want to sell your own game, that's your prerogative, and you should be able to sell your collection if you want to do that.
And was this your collection to begin with?
Yeah.
And how long in years had you been collecting before?
I started collecting about a year or two ago. Eventually I stopped, kinda decided I didn't play it as much, decided I wanted to make some money. Ben probably gonna end up regretting it, honestly.
I have no problems with people trying to make a buck, you know, but it makes it more expensive for people that collect because it drives the prices up.
I feel like from a reseller standpoint, I think it's bad because it's so much harder to find games to resell. From a collector standpoint,
it's still harder because everything's going up.
Right, but at the same time, if you already have a broad collection, I feel like your value is just shooting through the roof, so it's good in that aspect.
Yeah.
If you even care what your games are worth, I mean, I guess at the end of the day,
we're not going to sell them.
If you're not
really
selling them, then yeah, it's not, you know.
It certainly is not helping the hobby, you know, by any means. You know, prices get inflated, it makes it more difficult to collect, and it does take some of the fun out of it. You know, I don't like, you know, it's not fun to go to a flea market where someone has a booth and the games are all priced eBay prices. You know, that's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's true. You can't show up to a yard sale or
that's true. Everyone and their mother has eBay, and they'll find the highest buy it now price for any single game. They'll look them all up and they'll say, "Well, this game here is worth $50. I seen it on the eBay."
Yeah.
Like, ma'am, I don't want to disrespect you, but that's a $20 game all day.
And we can't exclude ourselves. I mean, we've shown up to the flea market at 5:30 in the morning buying games to resell, and you have collectors showing in at 9 o'clock.
That's true.
You're not getting anything. I'm sorry.
Where do you get your games and stuff?
Online, private sellers, people on Craigslist, OfferUp, LetGo. You know, a lot of times it's people cleaning out a house or something, or they find a box of games, they don't want them to sell them low, and
I cleaned out a house 2 years ago. The guy worked for Toys R Us for like 30 years. Wow. Dude, he had like Nintendo games still in boxes. Nintendo is still sealed. The original Game Boy is still sealed. He just bought the stuff and kept it. It was a little bit weird.
You know, they just want to buy it for the cheapest amount and sell it for top dollar, and it's like they're just greedy is all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if I buy a game
most of them, not all of them though.
Dude, it's 90% of them.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, online it goes for $250 or that kind of stuff. You never know. That's why you gotta ask, but you never know.
Where do you find out how much the value is?
eBay sold listings is, for me, the best way to go because, you can ask whatever, but you gotta see what they've sold for.
I try to price reasonably with the condition and consideration of Amazon, sometimes eBay. Try to do my research, for the titles and make sure I've got a competitive price product. Obviously, some of them need to go a little higher than others. There's some that definitely warrant it, and there's some that you just need to let go of.
Where'd you come up with that price from eBay?
There's a site that aggregates eBay.
Oh.
It like uses eBay, Amazon, sold listings, and it comes up with like an average value.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that website?
Video game price charting.
eBay is a good indicator of what something's actually worth, what they sell for. What other vendors are selling for is a good, usually if you look at what stores sell things for, it's a little bit higher than what you're going to get out there. We tend to be a little bit, maybe $5, $10 lower, $5 lower. You go inside, you'll pay more.
Oh, check it out, man. Oh. Is this your place, sir?
No, I'm just waiting for the guy. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
little bit of everything, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Old school.
Yeah. Thank God for it, right? Like us. You know.
And it's amazing how much these things are worth today.
Super Nintendo's getting bigger now. Super Nintendo and 64, they're getting big now. GameCube's gonna be the next in line, getting big. How much PS2 I got? PS2 hasn't moved that much. Not worth anything. Super Nintendo, the high-end Super Nintendo stuff, like that, it moves. It moves. Like that Super Metroid will probably be gone by the end of the day.
Where do you get your prices? How you justify the prices?
We base it off eBay. We base it off eBay. We look at Amazon too a little bit here.
How do you guys acquire your games?
Trade-ins.
Trade-ins mostly?
Yep. Trade-ins, we'll hunt around the auction sometimes outside, see if we get anything good.
Did you see that, by the way? It's got on sale here too. That's kind of cool. From 1982, man.
I got $300 on me right now.
There you go, man. Dude, could you imagine this? We were just talking about that because, like, you know, again, we just got together today, man. We were talking about even the wives.
So your wife, she don't like it, you can move out.
Only stipulation for the arcade cabinet, the first one has to be this back.
Oh.
That's what she said. She's like, look at this concrete. Not the table units, because either. The next one's a better unit. Hey man, happy wife, happy life.
Tell me you don't like it, here's the door.
She's the one.
Yeah. So I say to mine all the time, you don't like it, here's the door. Walk out. Door's unlocked. Go ahead. See ya.
Like everywhere on this planet, there's rude people in the gaming world too that don't believe in the community and just want to make a quick buck. Cool for them. I don't do business with you.
So it's kind of a reseller. In your definition of a reseller, I think they're pieces of shit.
Yeah. If you want eBay prices, you should be selling your stuff on eBay, not at a flea market. You don't have to pay eBay fees. You don't have to go through the trouble of shipping it. And I see it all the time, unfortunately. I'll go to a flea market and I'll see somebody with not only eBay prices, but higher than eBay prices. And it's kind of discouraging, but at the same time, you just got to keep being persistent about it.
You know, the nice thing about resellers is if you want a game and you want to play it, you can find it. You know, before I'd spend 6-7 years looking for something, and I just wanted to play it.
I mean, because I basically started collecting after I started at the store. So it was kind of seeing people and how kind of like giddy they would get when they would find something, you know, that they've been really having a hard time finding, and they found a really good copy of it. So I want to kind of be part of that. So I thought it'd be kind of really neat to kind of start acquiring stuff as it came in.
I was gonna say, do you have any Pokemon games besides that one right there?
Or what, like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance?
Game Boy Advance.
Blue back then.
Oh.
The long and short of it is just seeing people and how they reacted to buying something that reminded them of their childhood.
As long as you stay fair and you're not a greedy little son of a bitch, then you'll always do well no matter where you go. But you start thinking about just this and not the people, like this guy, these people matter. These people matter.
All lives matter, bro. No, I'm saying, you know, the double-edged sword of collecting is as long as people feel that, you know, people will pay that much for it, you can always turn a profit on it if you need to, you know, which is fantastic. I do it, you know, to buy other stuff, so it all balances out.
We're just as dirty as the rest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite about it.
It's true. Get in where you fit in, that's what I say.
The resellers, most of the people around here are passionate collectors and gamers. There's hardly anybody here that's a dirty old, I'm gonna go buy something and flip it on eBay in 2 seconds type person. Most people here are selling their doubles and things. So the reason why a convention like this or other conventions can exist is because of resellers, because people want to sell their doubles and be able to get more games. That's not a bad thing. I can't fault them. I like it all the same. And I mean, have you ever sold a game? Probably. I have too. I mean, but the thing is though, is we're so passionate about what we're passionate about.
This should be interesting. Infectious.
I feel like, especially with this weekend, to be able to go to this con and do what I haven't been able to do for months. This is almost like my welcome back party. Like, hey, I'm back collecting. I'm gonna pick up a stack of NES games for $2 a piece, and I'm gonna haggle with people. I'm gonna meet people that I never met before. be able to talk with them, not only just about games, but maybe about music and culture and anything, you know? Oh God, no, not from that side.
Well, we currently have about 3,000 people here walking around, 130 or so vendors, many people, as you can see. We've got a live DJ going. We've got some panels, live panels, and some concerts going on currently.
Anyone else? Questions?
It's been an entertaining day. We've got no drama yet, which is nice. My partners are running around just as crazy as I am. Nothing's breaking. Everyone seems to be behaving. No stone cold stunners. So far so good.
But I really just want to pick up maybe a repro, maybe a copy of Castlevania 4 finally. I know, hate me.
It's hard to find them perfect. That's close though.
Man, it was only released in Japan.
So let's go see. Let's see if we can find Hothead Joe or Crazy Joe. Wow, man, sound like a celebrity or something. Crazy.
Freaking packed in here. Everyone's having fun. It's 10 times bigger than last year, so it's great. Yeah. You have your poker face on.
I don't have a poker face. Who are you kidding?
See, once again, I had some guy trying to charge $450 for that. Down the way. Like 120 maybe. That's what I mean. Like, I hate this. Like, what the hell do you expect? Trying to ask triple value? This isn't eBay. I mean, it's worse than eBay. Holy crap. I'll do 45. See, I appreciate him working with me. That's a fair deal right there.
I love video games. Video games are life.
Breakdown time. It's 10 after 6. Time to get out of here. But overall, incredible event. My partners and I are super pleased.
You were the last 6 I needed.
An outstanding time. I don't care if I spend a third of what I made in the 2 days on games.
Real happy.
Everyone's happy, so that's what it's all about.
Not bad, man. What else? 3DO. Immersionary. I just had to have it, man. See, it's got some live action video in it. Can't go wrong. You get anything, Ben?
Yeah, I got a bunch. It's all in the car though.
Okay. Nice.
We shall check it out later.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the big conventions all over the country, all over the world, really, and there's not really much over here, but we know based on social media and all the local stores, like, everything is in, everything is huge and popular, so we figured, let's give it a shot, see what can happen, and it's huge, and it's getting bigger and bigger by the year, so.
It was a nice turnout.
Oh, yeah. Did you pick up anything good? Might pick up Popeye, Godzilla.
Wait, he had the worst negotiation skills. He's like, all right, man, so I got a deal for you. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I want this one and this one and this one. Like, and can you do 40? He's like, it's like 5 off each. He's like, they're 20 each. That'd be 45. He's like, oh, fuck.
I fucked it up. Oh, well. Current status of how I am feeling right now is this was a wonderful, wonderful fucking weekend. I wouldn't change it for the world, and I'm definitely coming back next year.
All right, well, my parents,
The word pack rat gets pulled out a lot from my mother.
and they understand how passionate I am about video games, and I mean, they like the fact that I collect, but they like the fact that I sell stuff more. They like the fact that I want to open a game store and make a career out of what I love instead of just using all my money to build up a collection that I may never do anything with, you know?
Of course, sometimes, you know, you'll get a family member and be like, what the hell is this? You are sick.
Boy, some really embrace it. Others think, you know, why are you collecting this stuff?
I have a couple family members who don't really understand it.
I don't know, they kind of thought it was funny at first. They come over and I have all these old Nintendo tapes and they're all on a shelf and cleaned and dusted off. But then, I don't know, they just kind of got it.
I mean, yeah.
I can't explain it. They understood once they saw how passionate I was for the hobby.
Yeah, I feel like that's, at first, it's always the haters. Man, look at these nerds. What are they doing with these old games?
Yeah, I collect video games. Oh, my cousins have a couple video games too. You know, they have Xbox. I'm like, no, but I have a lot of video games. My girlfriend down here for the first time, she was kind of, blown away, but she understands now. I mean, she doesn't think I'm crazy even when I explain to her that I need black box games without the hang tabs punched out. She understands I'm very passionate about it, and she helps any way she can.
I think for the most part they're supportive. My wife, she's not a huge gamer, but I think she appreciates, and she's got her own hobbies, and we all have hobbies, so I respect her hobbies, she respects mine.
And our significant others definitely weren't supportive in the beginning, but
No.
I think they've grown accustomed to what we do. I feel like they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
My girlfriend she opted for me to have a game room instead of putting them around the apartment.
Fortunately, my wife is supportive of it. She never really gives me a hard time. There's a lot of worse things I could be doing, with my time and money. So, I don't go out drinking or partying, So, I guess it's the less of some of the evils that are out there.
My wife initially, I don't think she was turned off to the idea. I think she was just a little puzzled by it. She didn't understand why does he need all these games? He doesn't play all these games. What's driving him to collect all of this stuff? But over the years, I think she's seen that it's who I am. And she knows that if that ever went completely away, that I'd be changing who I am. My friends just think I'm nuts.
I have to justify to my in-laws
how profitable it is for me, even though it's really not, and I'm breaking even with my double selling. And that's just because if I don't, they can't justify it as a rational purchase. You know, friends at work will kind of laugh and poke fun at me, but I remind them, you know, this is the largest entertainment medium in the world, more than movies. So we've all played games. I just happen to like them a little more.
When it comes to friends and family, I think everybody usually thinks it's really cool that you're collecting stuff when they see things in there. Friends especially, because they, you know, they grew up playing the same kind of games. Family, yeah, it depends. I mean, they understand it. They understand the big picture, that this is all part of a show and everything, and that you know, it's sort of like it's, you know, I'm preserving history.
My friends, well, most of them play games, so most of them are very supportive of coming to my house and playing games with me. I have a couple friends who don't play games, and basically, in their opinion, they're like, "Oh, she's the nerd."
A lot of my friends do this hobby with me, so they obviously love it. You know, they get to travel with me, and it's, you know, the thrill of the hunt. And I'm sure people have said that. You over there making gestures? Or, no. I mean, Wood, for instance, you know, I got right. He travels with me all the time,
That's because
and
of video games, and it's fucking awesome.
exactly. When it comes to collecting video games, is it any different? You know, girls especially. Oh, why do you collect all those video games? Why do you have as many pair of shoes as you do? Why do you have so many purses? I'll say it. I don't give a shit. I mean, it's no different than collecting sports cards or shoes or purses or anything else.
Hey, you know, you're so old and you're still playing video games. Honestly, I have had nothing but, you know, support. No one, you know, gives me a hard time about it. Everyone, you know, enjoys that I enjoy video games and stuff like that. So it's all been very good, at least for me.
And everybody's very supportive. And if you weren't, so be it.
I mean, it depends on my friends. A lot of my friends are dicks. Like, I mean, me and my friends joke around a lot. So, like, my collector friends, they think it's awesome. Like, some people will come in here and just be like, holy shit, and just start looking at everything. Because they get to play all the stuff, too, without having to buy it.
Because we can all choose our own hobbies. And as long as you're not, you know, harming someone else doing your hobby, then cool.
If video games weren't around, what would Reggie be doing? If I wasn't collecting, I would probably. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because I would have been collecting something. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Wow. What would my hobby be?
People need a hobby, and it's very hard for me to compare this hobby to anything else. So it's actually a very tricky question.
I honestly don't really know what I do. This is really my #1 hobby, besides playing video games. I like writing a lot, but I like writing about video games.
Basically, before I collected, I just worked like a maniac. I really didn't have a hobby. I worked 80 hours a week.
If I wasn't collecting, I'd be working a 9 to 5. Miserable.
If I wasn't collecting video games, it'd probably be more VHS tapes or beta tapes, 16mm films.
As a hobby, I would probably be collecting horror movies. Yeah.
Watching scary movies and critiquing scary movies.
I would probably be at culinary school.
I'd probably be outside more.
I'd probably get back into collecting militaria.
Probably would be reading a lot more.
Probably going crazy.
Traveling, and I thank my wife for that. Like, I hated traveling before I met her, and now it's sounding more appealing.
Filmmaking. I mean, if I'm not doing something gaming related, I'm usually out shooting.
The answer is right next to me and right behind me. When I wasn't playing games, I was playing music.
Well, I teach game history and design. I research game literacy, appreciation, transmediation involving games. So if I wasn't collecting or playing games, I'd be doing myself and my students quite a disservice. I'd also probably be playing more hockey.
If I wasn't collecting, I'd probably be able to have a lot more fun in my life. Not have to worry about acquiring old relics of a physical media that's dead.
I don't know. I think I would sit in a room in a chair and be bored. That's what I think I'd be doing. That's so pathetic, but I think it's honest.
Probably in a cabin, just on a kayak out on a lake, just taking it easy.
If I wasn't collecting video games, more than likely I'd have a garden outside, maybe grow some tomatoes, eggplants, watermelons. I like watermelons, so I'd try to have a watermelon patch.
I would probably be
spending a lot more time at bars and partying with my friends with my free time, sadly, but yeah, that's true. I think collecting's kept me out of trouble and kind of in a safe environment.
Honestly, I probably would be a drug addict.
I sold drugs for 20 years. It's what I did. It's what I loved. That's, you know, my passion for selling drugs was just as deep as my passion for video games now.
I was definitely hanging out with the wrong crowd. I mean, I remember finding myself at a drug dealer's trailer in the middle of nowhere, and he had, you know, this was back in 2002. So he had an Escalade with 23-inch spinners and stuff, and inside of this trailer was like mink carpet and huge flat screen TVs and leather couches and stuff. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, this isn't me.
I would be dead, prison, or selling drugs and on my way to both. And that's an honest 100% answer.
And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends from that time period are either, you know, in a very bad place, dead, or in jail. So more than likely, I probably would have just been one of those three.
At 36 years old, have been to prison, have done that, don't want to do it ever again. This is by far the best decision I've made in my 36 years of existence.
No, you know what? I don't know. My job now is because of gaming. I'd probably be miserable in my professional career, honestly.
You're not wrong.
I'm not, right? I mean, I've been able to take gaming and turn it into a way to pay my bills and have fun doing it and put smiles on people's faces doing it. I run my own video game convention. That is my main source of income. That's how I pay my bills. So I'd be stuck, because before that, I was doing jobs I hated and didn't want to do. But when you're an adult, you know, you want to eat. You do shit you don't want to do. It's just the way it happens. So yeah, I'd be miserable if it weren't for gaming, I guess.
I can't even believe it is where it is now, because, you know, it's gone from kind of like, oh, you're a nerd, to like, wow, dude, you got like a lot of cool stuff. But I definitely don't see it like turning the other direction anytime soon. So yeah, that's a good question, man. I really don't have a good answer for that.
The hobby's just going to keep growing. I don't think it's ever going to stop. People have been saying that it's a dying hobby
for 10, 15 years
and that the value of these games is gonna pop. Like this bubble, this imaginary bubble they talk about is gonna pop, like comic books and baseball cards. But the thing is, comic books and baseball cards didn't provide an entertainment.
Exactly,
like these
you can only
retro
do
games
so
did.
much with them. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a kid pick up a Nintendo and not like become intrigued by it at least.
I'm not sure if collecting ever stops. I think it goes through ebbs and flows.
So I don't think the scene will ever die. I think the definition will just change. Retro games for us might be Atari and NES. For our kids, they might be the Nintendo DS. So there's always going to be a retro scene. It's just going to keep shifting.
Like I said, it's already a trend now. It's going to become big. I mean, I don't see retro collecting for video games is always going to be around. And it's always going to be people getting into it, the younger generation, because they're impressed by us. We introduce them to games. They like it. They want to get into it. It's a fun hobby.
Almost all markets are subject to some sort of sinusoidal pattern. Prices could careen in the wake of something, or demand could shift to a different console as that kind of enters its retro window. I don't see the entire sphere collapsing, if that's what you mean. Games are here to stay, at least until a wholly different medium tries to challenge them.
Video games will be around forever. Whether they'll be physical or digital, I truly do not know.
The worst case, I feel like everything's gonna go digital.
The way the market's going, there's gonna be just digital gaming, so I don't see it crashing. There's gonna be gaming, obviously, iOS on your PC, Steam, all that stuff is gonna be always around because there's no real risk to the big companies.
And I think I'll always be excited about new video games as long as they have physical media. Because once it goes to the download only thing, it's just, I don't know, for some reason, for me anyway, it's just not as exciting. I mean, for you, it may be exciting, but for me, it doesn't really tickle my fancy too much.
Like, to me, that could just be me being old man Wittenhagen over here saying, I don't want to move on to these newfangled games. But I really think that there is something to it.
I've heard about an upcoming crash over and over again, and there have been several. I
hear a lot of people say, you know, the industry's so big it can't fall on itself. I don't know if I believe that, but I mean, at this point, it's not a fad. I mean, it's in almost all the homes.
I feel like it is becoming more mainstream. I mean, it's definitely pop culture.
I don't think we're gonna have a point where like it's just like people are gonna stop buying games. I think there's always gonna be. It's not like you're gonna wake up one day and be like, I don't like video games anymore. You know, I mean, like I just don't see that happening. Or even gradually over time, I think people will always be fond of video games. I mean, you mentioned yourself, games will go more digital, and you know, I think that will affect some purchasing habits later on. But we'll see.
Do I think there's a crash coming? I do think there's a crash coming. And the people who are in it for the money are in for a rude awakening. People who do it because they love it shouldn't care either way.
But it's happening. And so you go from what should have been a market that would have been like a bell curve and eventually dropped off as like we lose interest. Like now you got the upwards, but like now it's going to be stable. I mean, if the kids keep collecting, like it wouldn't go down because you've got a new crowd. And if it continues, like if we get into some Ready Player One shit and like gaming and life, like it's not like it's no longer pop culture, like now the two are like weirdly intertwined, then I don't see it going away because now this is the beginning of the history of the future, if that makes sense.
Why do I collect? See, I can't answer that for anybody else.
Why do we collect? There's something wrong and twisted in the back of our heads.
Well, obviously, some of us are just wired that way.
Probably just some mental things going on that certain types of people make them want to collect things, and you know, gotta catch them all.
It's like some kind of fascination either way. It's like an addiction.
Once you start collecting video games, you might go on hiatuses, but deep down you're gonna have the passion.
It's like a
to
drug,
do it.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
an
Mary
addiction.
Jane. You gotta have Mary Jane. It's a gateway drug. It's kind of like when you buy a Mario 2, it's a gateway to like a Mario's Time Machine and then the stadium events, and it just keeps going up the line.
I think it's more of an addiction. I don't see how you can amass a certain, you know, quantity of games and then just be like, okay, I'm done. Like, that's part of you. Like, whether you realize it or not, you know, video games takes over a part of your life. It is kind of addicting. I mean, I guess I do have somewhat of an addictive personality.
Once you're in it, once you have that bug, it's pretty addicting.
Collecting is just like any other addiction. So you have to keep that in mind. Collecting can be just like a drug addiction. You name it. It could be just as dangerous. People get into this hobby and sometimes they can't get out. And the only way out is by selling their entire collection at a huge loss. And unfortunately, the other way out is not one I really want to talk about because it's happened several times. So it's a real thing that happens, and I've seen both sides of this. Unfortunately, if you don't call it what it is, collecting is a form of addiction. If you do not call it for what it is, you can't control it.
I dream video games, I wake up video games. I know a lot of people use it as an escape. I've been pretty blessed in my life. I mean, everybody has a story to tell. I've had my ups and downs, but I don't think I ever used it as an escape. Video games is probably the most dominant thing in my life besides you know, my day job. Like, it's not just something I can just, you know, flip a switch and turn off. And I don't think I would want to, you know, flip a switch and turn it off.
In a way, it's kind of reliving my childhood. It's going back to that stage of peace and kindness when you had no worries in the world. I feel like when I do collect video games and I just look at my man cave or game room, whatever we call it nowadays, you know, it just gives me a peace of mind and a joy that, you know, everything is going to be all right and there's better stuff. So that's the reason why I collect, just to go back to that memory.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's all goes back to good memories, fond memories, memories of picking the game up, playing the game, memories of playing with friends who are no longer around or around you. Yeah, I hate to keep throwing the word nostalgia around, but that's what it all goes back to.
It's happy childhood memories. It's good times with friends.
that I think is you can't really battle nostalgia.
It brings you back to an idyllic time when the best part of your day was sitting down and playing a game and beating a level or beating a boss and having fun with your friends. And no matter what happens in life, you'll always have that magic moment. And video games, movies, comic books, all that bring you back to that one perfect Saturday afternoon. And that's why they'll never go away.
I mean, it's in the heart. It just takes you. But no matter what you're going through in life, a hard time or something else, you always play a video game and it'll take you back to a good time.
It opened up a new world for me.
I can't. I love it. Just the feel. Tell me every time you pick up that cart and you're not just like, and it takes you back and it's like a time warp in your mind. That split instant, the minute you go in that game, or the minute you find that game that you played when you were a little dude, you can literally picture, your mom handing it to you, and you may be crying at Christmas, or the bad days that you couldn't have a game and you cried and you wanted that game so bad, and you can remember throwing yourself down on the floor in Kmart and Ames and Hills, and you know what I mean. And now you get to have that game as a grown-ass man. There's not a better feeling than that. And to accomplish something that you couldn't have when you were little, I don't know. To me, it's hard to explain, man.
When people get brought back to that place, it's almost like a magical place. It takes you somewhere safe. It makes you feel comfortable, and people want nostalgia. They want their memories. They want to hold on to it. And that's why people, I think, hold on to their games, is because they're holding on to their memories. That's what I do.
It's definitely such an important part of our culture. I think it's our generation, Gen X. It's our antiques.
Like it's literally like collecting art, because it's the collectors that are kind of bringing them back out and displaying them like this and showing that these are a part of gaming roots. Like no matter what games come out, like these were the first ones, and they probably wouldn't exist if it weren't for these.
I think that's what it is. Like you stay young at heart, and that's why you keep collecting.
It's our generation's kind of thing that we can champion. We grew up with some of the classics. And, that's hard to trade for anything.
No, but why do we collect? I've been asking myself that question for decades.
If this is where the first 50 years of video games got us, I'm really excited to see the next 50.
Been one hell of a ride, and it ain't done yet. Done yet.
One we just passed, they do, if they see a video game, it's like $1.99 no matter what it is. Like I probably bought like 20 PS1 games there and flipped them because I'm a dirty reseller.
Hey, not bad. Medium, what fit me?
See, I gotta get this frame too, man. Reggie Williams for the Retro Gaming Expo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, like that. I know, I'm gonna frame this sucker, man.
Are we filming?
Yes, we are.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Let's start over.
Sure, let's start over.
If you would have asked me, hey, if you're gonna be filmed for a movie, I would have laughed at you.
And honestly, in my 20s, especially my early 20s, I say video games kept me out of trouble, because I could have been somewhere getting in trouble and drinking and whatever else. So
You would have been.
I would have been, definitely, for sure.
I'm not a materialistic person, but boy, if it's a game, I gotta have it, right?
Tony, why don't you release videos anymore?
I don't know, man.
'Cause you're scared.
No, don't put the camera back here all of a sudden now.
Nah, yeah, you're right, lighting.
Video games are a lot like balls without the S.
detail.
I'm living in an 8-bit world.
Where was I when this came out? So you find all kinds of random oddities that kind of went under the table at the time. Like all the Atari porn games, I'd never heard of those when I was a kid. So it's really like some kind of it's like a retro archaeological find. It's a discovery.
The name looks familiar. I know you've commented before somewhere on my videos or something. Darren Pelican sounds familiar.
The memories for me to obtain a game that my mom couldn't afford, or we had to sell. So it's the best feeling in the world for me.
We are, as gamers, we're stingy. We don't like to, we like to keep it all to ourselves, clearly.
The only thing I can really think of is, oh, it's gone.
We'll just leave it on that. That is a good point. If I wasn't collecting video games, I would have a lot more money on me right now. But I'd probably put it towards like vintage toys and stuff.
Smart Boy was an ad in the back of a magazine, and it came from New York City.
Where'd you get that question from? That is a fantastic question, and I'm not going to answer it.
Some say I got a problem, but I don't see it that way. Some say I got a problem, yeah, I'm missing Mega Man 3. We got the itch to find them all, we're making moves, so come along, collect away from retro to today. The itch to find them all, we're making moves, so come along, collect away from retro to today.
Back a little bit. Okay, you were talking about Future Harvest. What are your thoughts on?
Yeah.
All right.
We got the bits of yesterday. 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 The burning bushes and blinking red lights, the star punches, the finish the fight. We got the power, not the glove. We got the bits of yesterday. 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 We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the power. We got the bits of yesterday. 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 We got the